Thank you to Derek in Ireland for sponsoring today's video. What do you tell your students who are afraid their ideas will be stolen?
So that is obviously a great question, and it's obviously something people worry about. So first of all, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give legal advice. So if someone's really concerned about this, you should talk to an entertainment attorney. So I'll just tell you what some of my understandings are. I'm not an attorney. Don't do any of this without checking with an attorney. So you can copyright your scripts by, well, you can actually literally just mail a copy to yourself and keep it sealed up, and that will prove that you wrote that script on that date. Or you can register it with the WGA. That's not too much money. So what you're doing is you have a record of, I wrote this script on this date. Okay. Now, again, I'm not an attorney, but I have taken law classes, and it is my understanding that you can not copyright a concept. You can not copyright an idea. You can only copyright the execution. So if I have an idea about a guy who's in great economic distress and he cooks crystal meth and he partners up with a student, and I write this script, Breaking Bad doesn't exist, and I copyright it through the Writers Guild or however I do it, and then someone else, and I can prove they saw my script, and they do it, and it's the same concept, I don't believe I have any legal restitution at that point, unless they stole my execution. I mean, they took my characters, the exact situation. I mean, and this is now where court battles will be like, because there's a French term that I'm not going to try to pronounce, but it basically says, if you had a concept and I had the same concept, and we both, without knowing what each other were doing, wrote scripts, there'd be some things in common, just certain things kind of naturally fall from the concept. And there's a French word for that. And so it has to go beyond that. So like if you're going to sue me and you can prove I read your script, and I said, well, yeah, I had the same idea, and these sort of big ideas are kind of like anyone would come up with that. And you're like, yeah, but not this subplot, not this line of dialogue, not, and you're going to start pointing to specifics. Okay, and that's when the lawyers get involved. So just to be clear, you can't, I don't believe, protect your concepts. Now, that makes writers say, well, then I don't want to show my script to anyone. Oh, and it's even worse than that. If you don't have an agent and you want someone to read your script, they're going to make you sign a document that says you're not going to sue them. And that's when writers go, oh, no way am I doing that. Well, you don't have to. But then you know what? No one's going to read your scripts. And here's why. Nobody likes to be sued. And this is what happens. I remember when Barry came out, in different classes, I heard from 6 different writers saying, they stole that from me. I had an idea about a hitman that becomes an actor. You know what? 1,000 people had that idea. They didn't steal it from anyone. Like, I remember there was a talking dog movie and someone was like, I had that idea. Yeah, you and everyone. Like, so, but the thing is if you're the head of a studio, you're an agent or a manager, you don't want to read someone's script and then that means you can't do anything similar to that because you're going to be sued. I mean, if that's the case, they're not going to read your script. So the cost of getting someone to read your script is you got to sign something saying you're not going to sue them. Okay, well, why would you want to do that? Because you need people to read your script. Here's what a manager told me, and I'll pass it on to you. He said, if you really want to, look, you can't really protect anything, really, but here's the best you can do. Learn how to write an amazing script. No one steals from an amazing writer. They steal from subpar writers. Here's why. If you have a great concept and you have a great execution, this is Christmas morning for them because they can buy it, hire you to rewrite, and you don't cost very much money because you're a new writer. Now, if they steal your idea and go hire a big-time writer, it's going to cost them millions of dollars. Now, if they think the concept's great and the execution's terrible and they're on the shadier side, could they steal that concept and go hire a writer? Probably. Would you have legal recourse? You have to talk to a lawyer, but I think you may not be excited by what you hear. So what the manager said is they only steal from bad scripts, bad writers, great concepts. And in my experience, I know a lot of executives, a lot of writers, a lot of people in the industry, I think stealing goes on a lot less than people think. I think if you hang around writers, you're going to hear all these stories because everyone thinks their ideas were stolen. So it happens. It doesn't happen that often. It happens. But you know what? That risk is the ticket to the dance. And it's all the more reason to do everything you can to be a great writer.